There's a lot we can learn about web servers and indeed the applications that run on them and the people that own them by looking at network entries against the hostname. So for example, I'm using a site here called passivetotal.org. There's free registration and then you can find out a lot of information about a hostname. So I'm going to go up here and paste in the name of our sample vulnerable website. And now we'll just go and search. So it's going away and it's fetching data from different sources. And it comes back with a bunch of info about the site. What I'm interested in though is the IP address that domain resolves to. And it's this one down here. We can see it's a US-based IP address belonging to Microsoft Corporation. Let's drill down and have a look at this. So now it's going away and fetching data from those 6 sources about the IP address. And now we have another heat map. But what I'm particularly interested in is when we scroll down a little bit and we see all of these other host names. And what we're actually seeing here is a reverse DNS lookup. So effectively what that means is taking an IP address and then seeing which other host names are bound to that same IP. Now in this case, my site is hosted on Microsoft's Azure cloud platform. Now that's a platform as a service offering that exposes the same publicly facing IP address for many different results. So what you're actually seeing here is different sites that are hosted on Azure that have absolutely nothing to do with my site. However, in many cases, you will find that by doing a reverse DNS lookup on a host name or the IP address that it's bound to, you'll find other assets related to that same web application running on the same host. So for example, you may find the admin system for that site. It might be on an obfuscated host name, but it points to the same IP address. So by doing a reverse DNS lookup, you can frequently find other related assets which may be points that you, as an ethical hacker, want to probe for vulnerabilities. Because compromising one resource on a web server can often give you access to other resources on that same server. Let's jump back for a moment because we can find some other useful info here. We'll go up to the Who Is link. Now here we can see quite a bit of information, and in particular we can see information about me. Now I've made a conscious decision not to pay for privacy on every single domain I register. My information's pretty easily locatable anyway. So that's why you're seeing my email address and my name and some contact information. What I'm interested in though, as an ethical hacker, is what other domains might be owned by the same owner, because that again might provide ways for me to find other risks in related assets. So I can go and select the email address here. And once again, passivetotal goes off and does some searches. Now these are all websites that I make very public and very easily discoverable by design. But what you will often find here is other interests that the same individual has. And again, that might give you an attack vector against another one of their assets, which then allows you to gain access to the one that was the original target. Now, of course, none of this is really specific to the passivetotal website. This is just reverse DNS lookups and who is information. You can get that from many different sources. I just like the way it's very easily obtainable using this particular service. So that is a great way of discovering related information to both the site and the site owner. And there are certainly many precedents of this sort of data being used to compromise the original target. Let's move on now and talk about something a little bit different, and that's HTTP fingerprinting.